Good evening, everybody. It's Gwen, Crafty Lady I can't talk yet. Crafty Lady Designs. I'm going to do a flip through. I just finished one of Nick the Booksmith's classes. I've taken all of her classes. She is just absolutely brilliant, and the classes are wonderful. This is the new ledger, scholar ledger type book. It is a little narrow in size, and the point of this is the enhanced ridging along the spine that, and it's hard to see with my black uh, spine cover here, which is a fake vinyl or a fake leather. Um, and I haven't finished the outside yet. I'm not quite sure because this was to be the ledger type book. And she provided us with some freebies and some things to put on the outside. Well, I got carried away. I made it more like a junk journal, quite frankly, than a ledger. However, it is the same size. It's 8 3/4 by 5 inches. Love the size. I used chipboard, and this is fake. This is fake leather here on the outside, cardstock. Now, I I didn't put a closure on it like a tie or whatever. I don't think it lends itself to that, but I did use a headband that you can get it. I got this at CVS, I think, a whole pack of them, which does keep it close because mine became a little chunky. As I say, I got carried away. I have 4 signatures. My lighting's not real good today. 4 signatures, and there's approximately 96 pages plus or minus with additional pages. I've got some calligraphy paper in here. I got some of the Tim Holtz's paper I'll show you. And then I got pockets and tags and various embellishments that I did make. I love the size, and it became a little chunky, as I say, and it was primarily, and I'm going to put down below the Teachables, her Teachable site and her site that shows these books. She made several of them, and I think she had 4 or 5 of them up for sale this morning, which I missed out on. Of course, they just go. But the upshot is she does describe. So I want to flip through mine. I loved it. I'll make more of them. I love the spine. It's that enhanced spine like on professional books. It's a little different design. Uh, it is not hard, but it is different. And I really, really enjoy it. It's got a little bit of a bow, but not like her normal bows. So let's go inside. As I say, I used a headband. Go inside and do a flip through. Now it is a little stiff compared to the, and see, here are the pages. See, I did get a little carried away. That's okay. It is a little stiffer, and she indicates that they are stiffer until they're used and loosened up, and I think they will be. So on the inside cover, now I use chipboard, and she recommended using chipboard and I also sprayed it with a sealant, so I wouldn't have bowing and that type of thing. But she recommended on covering both sides with paper, and when you cover one side with paper with liquid glue, if you don't cover the other side, it can warp. So I did cover the other side on the front and the back. There's the back, and there's the inside of the back, and I covered it with the same paper so there wouldn't be any bowing. Well, after doing that, and then when I sewed in my signatures, I had this black, when I sewed my signatures on, I had this black wing on each side. So the upshot is I covered that and made a pocket out of it. And I also carried through the black with black lace that correlates with the spine. I have some now. She provided us with some freebies that are absolutely darling. Here's a postcard. I printed these out. They were free from Nick, and I printed them out, and I did put them on ivory cardstock to make to the back was white. The paper, I printed them out on 100-pound paper, but it was white on the back. So I did do that. Here's a postcard. And of course, that slips in your pocket. Here is some W.C. Whitaker. I don't know, some pictures that she provided, a bingo card, and a library card, which we thank you, Nick, very much. She is so sweet, and she is so talented, as you all know. So each signature is encased in cardstock, and this is Tim Holtz's cardstock. Excuse me, Tim Holtz's cardstock. I can't recall the name. I'm sorry, but each signature, and there are four, is encased in the the cardstock. There are 6 coffee dyed papers folded in half. And then there's also calligraphy paper, napkins, pockets, etc. And we'll go through those. So the front page or the front cover, and I sit the other day and I made a ton of these paper clips. And I'll try to look it up. And I followed directions. There was a gap, and I can't remember her name, and I'm so very sorry. She just punched out tags and folded them in half and embellished them. And these are little pictures from Tim Holtz, his little find a family or whatever. So that's the first cover of the first signature. This is calligraphy paper that I get at Hobby Lobby, and a napkin, and I just punched it with Martha Stewart. This is a stencil that I use, is Tim Holtz's. I left a lot of blank pages for journaling. Now this has really become, and this is my stamp, my French stamp. This has really become more of a junk journal per se than a ledger. But as I say, I got carried away. I made this pocket, and then I did some stenciling on it with the same stencil of Tim Holtz, and then I did a little punch here with Martha Stewart. Made this tag. Now this tag has a little rusty pin on it that I got from Denise at, oh, Denise. Yes, I did. Tattered Dreams, Denise. So it's got a little, and the story begins here. And then I took some cards that I had in my stash, and I just rounded the corners and stained them. And there's 2 little girls from Tim's family pictures. This is just a card uh, that I tea-dyed, and on the back it's got the Cartier postcard on the back, and then I just stamped it with a little bird. So these go down into the pocket. This, let me put the girls back, and the story begins. Now this, I bought this little envelope. It is so cute, and it's like newspaper print. Now this, the story, uh, Nick provided a whole list, the story, the journal, the this, the that, whatever. I cut this out, and there's a little card inside this envelope, doesn't have anything on it. But to make a stop for the envelope, I took this little, and I printed these out on 100-pound cardstock, and this is cream. And I cut around it, and I stapled it. I stapled it here on the bottom, and then that way it makes a stop for the envelope. So that goes in here as well. I've made all of Nick's Teachables. She's brilliant. And then there again, here's some more paper. Excuse me. This is the center of our first signature. Now this is glassine paper by Tim Holtz. It's heavier than the glassine that we think of, and it's just got a different texture to it. I don't know what, they no longer make it. I bought every book I could find at Michael's and wherever, and I'm getting low on it too. But this is the center of our signature. And here I've tied this off. Now, I haven't done anything with these yet. Um, I don't know. I haven't decided. I was going to put some little medallions on the end of it. You can close this up and make a pocket out of it if you don't want to see the stitching. This is just a little tag that I made. It's coffee dyed, and a little something for you. And then the little flowers are Tim Holtz's as well. This I just stamped with my, I'm going to move us out just a wee bit. Well, now you're going to see my, no, I don't like that. Let's go back. Okay, this is my stamp, my French script. just a stamp. And as I say, I left a lot of blank pages. And here is the back with the back side of the calligraphy paper and the napkin. And here's the back of the first signature. This is the first signature. There again, this is a Tim Holtz paper. I stamped this thinking of you. Here's a mother and a boy, or a grandma and a boy, and one of Tim Holtz's. Now this is one of my tags or paper clips that I covered. I punched these out, two of them, put the paper clip in between, and then embellished it. Now this is a side, oops, I want to say a side load, which it is, I guess you can say. And it just, I just sent one day, and I do apologize. I can't think of her name, and I should have written that down. I'll look it up and try to put it down below. Then there again, all of my pages are the same. If I do 10 signatures or 5 signatures or whatever, I go bang, 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 and then I add this, bang. So they're all virtually laid out the same. Now, I might embellish them a little different or add some things, but in reality, they're virtually the same. Here's another stencil of Tim Holtz, plain paper, it's hard to hold these anymore. There's another pocket that I made. This is just a card. This was a file card, and when I coffee dyed it, all the lines come off. So I've got happiness as a journey, and then I've stamped on both sides where you could journal on. This is just a tag that I also coffee dyed, and it says wishing you all things favorable. And this is a little I bought this from a Tattered Dream as well. It's a weekly time card, and it unfolds like so, and you could journal in that as well. I stained it, and then I secured it with one of Tim Holtz's little paper clips, which I love. Oh, come on, there we go. And so and then the back part, I did some embellishing there as well. So this goes in here, the little time card, and then the little card. I don't know if I'm going to put this on I have a consignment area, capturedonpaper.com. I'll put that down below as well. I have several junk journals in there that I've offered for sale. And I don't know if I'm going to put this one on there or not. It's the first one I made with this, excuse me, this type spine. So I don't know. Happiness is a journey, not a destination. It's a stamp that I have. And then there again, I've added lots, and here's another tag with a butterfly. This book belongs to. I left a lot of blank papers for journaling. And here's another stamp. Art washes away from the soul the dust of everyday life, and that was said by Picasso. And down here it says thinking of you. And there again, lots of paper, and we're back to the napkin and the calligraphy paper. Now here is the third signature, and here is two little boys. Aren't they cute? Now this I made here again. Oh dear, where are they? Come on, little boys. This is a paper clip as well, and this is, oh no, that's not the one I want. Where is the one I want? I got the wrong pew. Just a minute, I'm sorry. Where's our third signature? Here it is. No. I want our third. There we go. This is also a paper clip, and this has a flower and a piece of lace. This is a money roll. I saw this online as well, and she takes money rolls that you roll dimes and nickels, quarters, 50 cents or whatever in, and uses that. And when you cut them, well, here's the back of it. This was a nickel roll, and of course it's hollow. So you stick your paper clip down in there, the short side, and of course then I flagged the bottom and then added some lace and a flower, and they just come out really clever. There again, I saw it online. It is not my design. And the two little boys. So this is the beginning of our third signature, which is virtually the same with the calligraphy paper, and here's another pocket that I made. And this, I found, these were Tim Holtz's as well. And it's little birds and a bird's nest and nature and whatever. This is a stencil by Tim Holtz, and then I made another pocket. And then here's another one of the little envelopes that I used the little tags that Nick provided to make a stop, and I just stapled it on there on the bottom. This is just a tag where you could journal on the back with scissors. And here's another weekly time card that I showed you just a little bit ago. Okay, and then we're going to put the scissors, and then we're going to put the envelope. I love the little envelope. I think I got these at Michael's. It was either Michael's or Hobby Lobby. And as I say, there again, they're all virtually laid out the same. We're back to the center. I made these flowers. I took coffee dye paper and I stamped them with my script stamp, and then I cut them out. I've got 3 different punches, and they're all Stampin' Up punches, and then I made the flowers. The leaves were come out of my stash someplace. And then there again, this is the center. I did nothing with the tags. You could cut them off or whatever, or put little embellishments on. These are all blank pages to write on, and we're at the back. And this is our 4th signature, and there's 2 little girls. I love Tim's paper, and I can't remember the name of it. Here's another one of the paper clips that I made. And then here we're back, and as I say here, here's another pocket. Now this one has a little bird on a tag. This has a tag. This was a download, and I think this came out and it says Jane Austen, one of her quotes. This is just one of those little tags that I had in a little booklet, and it said today is, and I've got the little puppy dog on there, isn't he cute? It's Timmy Holtz, and it's got the little paper clip. I made this little, it's not a coin envelope, but you could slip a tag, but you could slip something in there. And then I've got a rusted pen, and I got those from Denise's shop online as well. And then just a stamp. I've had this stamp for 100 years. So this goes in the pocket as well. And then the little puppy dog, put him back here. And the tag, the Jane Austen tag, and the little bird. I love tags. So besides the 9,600 pages more or less, we have all these extras. This is just a little stamp, and I stamped the English or the French script stamp on there. We are at the middle again of our last signature, and it's virtually the same. And I made this flower as well, and just put it in the middle. I just can't. I don't know. Little moments, big memories is a stamp I have. Crafty Irina sent me that stamp. She hasn't been on for a while. Hi, Irina. These are just blank pages as well. This is the back of the last signature. Now, the back is exactly like the front. I covered it. Now, I've also added the black lace and made the pocket. This is a couple of Timmy's kids, and I had a black, this is 110-pound cardstock that I cut out. I got Tim's steel die to cut out tags. Here's another one of the little pieces out of that book with a little boy, and they go in here like so. Now this is an envelope that I had in my stash, and I just stamped the front of it. And this doesn't have anything in it. You could put anything, but this is one of Timmy's little flowers. And there again, I just stapled it. I just went in there and stapled it on there. You see the staple to be a catch for the flap. I don't have anything in it, but you could certainly put something in it. And that's going to go back here in the pocket. And then here's the back. The back is just like the front. Now this is, I bought this at Hobby Lobby. This is fake leather type, whatever. It is a little stiff, and Nick says that these with this type of until they loosen up. And then this is not paper. So this makes it a little stiffer with the glue and I sewed in my signatures uh, outside. And of course, when I glued it down, I used a ton of fiber tack, and let it set overnight. I mean, because it has to be sturdy. And then I secured it with this hair band. I bought these, a whole package of them. You know what they are. They're the kids' hair bands. These are kind of big. So there is my contribution, or well, not contribution. I'm not entering anything this time. But I enjoy Nick. She is just absolutely very talented and sharing her talents. And she does have her teachable classes with several different. And this is new with the new spine and the ridge. It looks like a real professional book. They use a book press to make those ridges and spines, and she goes all through that and tells you what they do. Um, and as I say, it was to be a scholar ledger type. She gave us little medallions to put on the front, said notes, journal one. So I decided I'm not going to flower this up. I flowered about all I can or will with the lace and what it doesn't lend itself to that. Uh, but I don't know. I'm going to put something on the outside. I may offer it. I'll have my consignment area down. I have several, and I may run through those someday and do a little uh, YouTube flip through of some that I have that's offered on there. I've had sold several on there, but I have several still on there. So I might run through those and kind of refresh everybody's memory. I will have Nick's information down below. I will have uh, captured on papers information down low and my information down low. Thank you so much for joining me. I hope you enjoyed it. I enjoyed making it. Consider if you do make journals or whatever, Nick's Teachables, they are fantastic, and she's so good at teaching and explaining and whatever. So, with that ado, I thank you so much for joining me, and have the great next week, and I will be talking to you later. Thank you. Bye bye.